Welcome to Education 206. We are going to dive into critical component number 3. So we're at Module 8 and critical component number 3, building relationships and engagement. In this module, we'll explore one of the most powerful drivers of student success, relationships. Research shows that students engage more deeply, behave more positively, and learn more effectively when they feel seen, valued, and connected. Let's dive into what that means across grade levels. These objectives guide our focus. We'll explore real examples from elementary through high school, and you'll walk away with strategies you can use now in field placements during your observations or in your future classroom. By the end of the module, you will understand the importance of building relationships and engagement. Identify strategies to create connected, responsive classrooms. Apply grade level strategies to your own teaching, and reflect and share ideas through a peer discussion. And we'll go over the expectations for the peer discussion a little bit later in the module. Classrooms run on relationships. And one of the key takeaways that I want you to get from this course is we're in the people business. Many times people are like, they just take for granted, what teachers do. And oftentimes we kind of get caught up that it's our content. We love history, or we love music, or we love literacy and we want to share reading or something, or math. But at heart, it's the people business. It's all about relationships. So when students feel respected and included, they are more willing to take academic risks, to collaborate, and to support each other. These are the conditions where real learning happens. And honestly, it's where we develop a love for learning and a love for lifelong learning, which is something that we are all striving for with our students. This critical component is rooted in connection. Building relationships means knowing your students as individuals. Engagement isn't just about being on task. It's about active involvement in meaningful learning, sparked by trust and relevance. So, learning your students' names, their interests, and their strengths is critical. Learning their hobbies, what they're involved in school, who their friends are. These things don't happen immediately right when class begins, but there are strategic things that we can do to begin to learn who they are right from the beginning, the first day of school. Actually, before that, in some cases, there are some strategies you can put into place. Encouraging collaboration and community is key, and understanding student backgrounds and lived experiences is a valuable part of building relationships. So let's begin to look at it through an elementary lens first. Morning meetings, which we talked about before, are an important place to build trust and routine with our students. Younger learners need those routines and those interactions to reinforce the value of relationships. Simple structures like the morning meetings and the partner discussions create safe spaces for them to talk, to share, and reflect, even through storybooks or visuals. Interactive read alouds help them to discuss characters, feelings, and themes in a safe, approachable way. Elementary students can even do mini Socratic seminars where we can encourage, through strategic questioning and careful scaffolding, deep, guided conversations. In addition to these examples, you can actually start building those relationships before school even starts. I know many elementary teachers send out the summer letter where it's like, hi, it's kind of a meet and greet letter. I'm going to be, it's to the parents, but also it's to the students. I'm going to be your child's teacher next year. I'm so excited. So here's our school supply list, and these are some of the books we're going to be reading and things we're going to be studying and the field trips we're going to be going on. And I can't wait to meet you at, meet and greet. And so before class even begins, they're starting to build that relationship. Interest inventories, the all about me posters and questionnaires and surveys are very valuable to gaining information about your students, about their families, their backgrounds, what they value, and just what their personalities are like. Those things can be very valuable motivators when we are trying to teach them academic content. Making those personal connections can really be valuable for motivation and to stimulate interest. In the middle school aspect, through the middle school lens, it can uh, also be the at heart the craving that middle schoolers have for connection and voice. Group projects and student-led discussions engage them while supporting social growth. These setups encourage mutual respect, healthy debate, and teamwork. So, some ideas are literature circles, debate teams, inquiry projects, especially if you can find common interest or shared interest amongst your students and attach that to some academic content. That is key. In some of our really large middle schools, some of you will have the opportunity to see that the students really don't know one another very well. In their smaller elementary schools, they were, with kind of the same group of students, but they may have made that transition to a large middle school, and there might be up to 10 feeder schools, maybe more, in some of the really large middle schools in our area. And so they may not know anyone in their class sometimes. So when you are in your observation field placements, take note of how teachers are trying to build that community and develop those relationships among their students in their classes. And then lastly, let's look at those through the high school lens. Older students benefit from intellectual engagement and autonomy. High level discourse is possible with high school students. In fact, I had the privilege of teaching high school for 20 years, and that was one of my favorite things, was to engage students in rigorous, interesting discussion. They have so many cool things to share. Peer feedback, real world applications, all of these things allow them to form relationships through ideas, dialogue, and that purpose driven collaboration. So, peer review sessions, collaborative research projects, ethical dilemmas, and Socratic seminars are all ways that we can support those structures that allow them to build relationships with one another. And then, of course, we're learning about them as well through these activities. Your physical and emotional classroom environment works in tandem. When students feel a sense of belonging and know their voices matter, learning flourishes. These efforts should begin day one and continue all year. We'll end with reflection for this module. What resonated most with you? Relationships take intentional work, but the rewards, academic, emotional, social, are foundational to every student's success. This week's assignments will help you connect theory to practice. As you review materials and reflect on examples, think about what you would use in your classroom and why it matters. Please make sure you use your note catcher to record and respond, and you will be able to use that to fuel ideas in the peer discussion forum. I hope you have a wonderful week.